Hi there. My name is John Ledang. I'm a senior here at the University of Kentucky. I'm also an accounting student. I chose accounting because I have a love for business, and I have a really strong mathematical background that really helps accounting be a great fit for me. Unfortunately, I had a lot of trouble finding an accountant to speak with, so if we go to the next slide here, I met with Professor Jane Wells. She's an associate professor here at the University of Kentucky. She was formerly a certified public accountant and is currently on the Kentucky Society of CPAs board. Um, she knows all the ins and outs about accounting as a career in a field. She knows how to become one and how to be successful as one. Go on to next year, we'll talk about some of her experiences. Before she became a professor, she was a CPA working at Potter and Company, a firm here in Lexington. It's now known as Blue and Company. Of course, they handled taxes during tax season for individuals and for companies alike. But her main priority was as a manager of the auditing team. They would perform audits on different companies. If you go to the next slide here, we talked about what actually inspired her to become a CPA. Now, her father owned a business whenever she was younger, and she helped out working under the bookkeeper there. Um, and it was this work for her father that actually drove her to love accounting as a profession and to pursue it through school. Um, Now, we talked about on the next slide here, we talked about what she defines success as. And she defines success as doing something enjoyable and helping others better the world. Um, Now, if you're not contributing to others, then you're not really providing anything for anybody. And if you're not doing something you enjoy, then you're not providing anything for yourself. So, to truly be successful, you need to provide for both yourself and for others. Um, and this was her definition of success. And she does consider herself to be successful. Especially as a professor, she's won numerous awards for teaching and for faculty. It's a real validation for her. But she also felt successful as an accountant. Um, Mostly, her most rewarding aspects as an accountant were during tax season, helping individuals better understand their own taxes and how it actually worked in ways that they could help themselves and save a little more. Um, but she had one good question she liked to ask herself that would really help her uh, know if she was successful or not. And that was, do you feel good today about what you did yesterday? And if you could answer that question with yes, then you're more than likely successful. Now, if we'll go to the next slide here, we talked a little bit about the future um, and what we thought the accounting field was being steered towards. Now, it is becoming broader, and what we mean by that is that accounting is growing into more aspects of business, just across the line in every department, finding ways to cut costs and increase profits. Um, and accountants are really known to be able to do that, and so they're being used and utilized in different aspects of the businesses. Um, and as well as businesses are growing. With the use of the internet and different medias, it's becoming easier to do business across the world. The U.S. and China have lots of engineering firms that are working together, but even those engineering firms need accountants. So the world is globalizing, and as long as there are businesses that are making money, accounting will be needed to help track that money and make sure the businesses are running efficiently. Now, with that being said, she gave me some tips on being successful here on the next slide. And the first and biggest tip is to be adaptable. It's Darwin's theory of evolution. You need to evolve to survive. If you can't adapt to the new laws that are written constantly for accountants, or if you can't adapt to the new work environments, if you're a certified managerial accountant and they want you to work at a factory, you need to be able to adapt to that factory and find out how to better understand your surroundings. The next key was to be passionate. again, you have to love what you're doing, you have to enjoy what you're doing, and you have to be able to help others and be good at it. Um, and the third key was to never stop learning. And that's essential because laws are changing constantly for accountants. And lastly, just to put my own personal twist on things, I asked her what her favorite or what her closest association with a superhero was, and not necessarily her favorite, but which superhero she felt she was most closely assimilated with. And she told me Superman. And not because of his super strength or anything like that, but as an accountant, she had to have two personalities, a Superman and a Clark Kent. And her work friends and her personal friends would agree that her personality was very different from the different fields. And part of that is just being professional. Clark Kent can't save the world, and Superman doesn't necessarily need to come in work as a journalist. Now that being said, I just want to go ahead and thank you all. Thank you for listening to me. Hopefully you learn a little bit more about accounting from my perspective and from Professor Wells. And if you have any questions, just let me know. Thank you.